All right, 2 minutes ago I can see the coffee desire in your faces, so I'm going to be quick. I just need to find that pointer. Oh, here. Yes, so BioVel, the virtual laboratory for biodiversity. So this talk goes very much in the same line with the one that Michelle just gave, with using a slightly different approach, but the idea is very much the same. So biodiversity is actually a collection of a number of disciplines that have a very long history, and they are not very integrated at that point. When you remember Dan's talk, that GeoBond, that's what they try to do. They're trying to assemble that information and make sure it's integrated in the right way. So we are trying to build the infrastructure that enables that. So when looking at the GOs and the genomic data, there is the phylogenetics and the metagenomics analytical services and the data that have high potential to contribute. So we're looking at what BioVel is doing is trying to look at services and develop robust services that help you with the analysis of large and complex data. And in this context here, it would be metagenomics, phylogenetics data. But it's not only that, we also want to stimulate the integration of those data with other knowledge resources that you can get from data and methods. So that's the idea. And how do we go about? We are concentrating on web services that are already out in the community to make them robust, and then we chain them up into analytical pipelines. And there will be a tool even so you can do that yourself. So you can design your own workflow for a certain analysis, and then you can share it with the community and with your colleagues. So what we are using is the MyGrid software family. There's a whole lot of backup infrastructure that I won't go into. The components in this package that I will go into is the workbench, the Taverna workbench, the workflow repository, and the service catalog. So when you have a problem that relates to scientific request, that is, you solve that with a workflow. It's an analytical pipeline that you build based on web services that you deploy. For example, this one would be the development an ecological niche model for the American horseshoe crab. That's one of the species I worked with before. So we developed one. You get data. You get your own data together with data that are in the repositories. Then you clean those data. You then get environmental data that help you defining the ecological niche where the specimen lives, where the species lives, and then you build a model, you test it. All these steps are defined in this workflow, and then you project that model into time and space to see where the animal can live in the future or where it has been living in the past. So once you have deployed that, now you can use that to make models of birds. You can use it for birds or African mammals. It's very generic, and then you can put that onto the platform, which is my experiment platform. Is the workflow repository, and there is a lot of kind of Facebook tools developed, so you can share that with the community. You have the workflow, you have all the description and the documentation of the analytical. What is the analytical pipeline doing in technical terms, but also in scientific explanation? What does it do, and what can be used? And around this workflow now, there can be a virtual community assembled of people that are interested in the same problem, and that can be invasive species, for example, could be one, or forest ecology could be another, and then it doesn't matter so much if you're just an expert on just that method, or if you have data for just that species. So this helps people to find each other, people that have the same problem. And of course the services, they are deposited in a catalog, and then in the future it will also be possible that you assemble your own pipeline and then share it with others. So in terms of the GOs, there is, and the genomic services, is a list of the services that we are currently focusing on. These are the ones we are developing. Some very basic services, and they're all metagenomic services for the microbial communities. So we're having some phylogenetic services, a whole phylogenetic inference, basically, that we will have as a workflow deployed, and that this is on our wish list. We haven't come very far in that field, and maybe workflows for cleaning up NGS data, that could be another thing, but that's just a suggestion. So if you have, any of you have suggestions for essential services that could be helpful in the GO context, you're welcome. I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to hear that. That's it.